action. We're in the middle of the action between Carrick and Perry. Looking at Perry in the blue and Carrick in the yellow.
Hit two old City League rivals going against each other. Max, that opening was so well. I think you should do it again.
Well, hello, and ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's broadcast coverage of the 210 Speed and Agility 7-on-7 here at the Woodland Hills Wolvarena. Right now, we're in the middle of the action between Carrick and Perry. That's Perry in the blue, there on the offense, and Carrick, in the gold.
Yeah, as we were saying, Max, two old City League rivals going against each other. Although Carrick now plays a independent schedule, so they can play anybody they want, but they do still play a lot of City League schools to keep some of that tradition alive.
Absolutely, absolutely. And right now, Perry is doing a fantastic job there on the offense as they now hold the 30-yard line. And, of course, we got more action coming up after this. We just saw Still Valley play against Woodland Hills, so if you're here for that, unfortunately, we missed that game. But right now, we are looking at a pretty accurate schedule here, as they are actually following through with the schedule. So let me just take a glance at that and tell you guys what's coming up next. So right now, it's Perry versus Carrick, and then after this, we got Johnstown versus South Allegheny. Around 7:30, we got Amani versus Carrick. Then at 7 p.m., Monessen versus Bashir. Then around 7:30 for our last game, we got Still Valley versus Johnstown yet again. And then if you guys have ventured out to Johnstown, know that it's not close. It's not in the county, to say the least. So, I mean, Johnstown, they always come in with the best, and they give it the best shot. Come that distance, you might as well.
Yeah, that's why they get 3 games since they're making the long trip down here. They said, hey, if you're going to come down, we're going to make it worth your while.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a long drive back home if you didn't do a good job. Right now, Perry is, interception right there from Carrick. Let me get a good view on that guy's numbers. As you know, we do not have the rosters matching up with the names. We do the best we can. But if you know the athlete, you know the athlete. So show him some love down in the comment section down below. We are looking at number 7 from Carrick with the interception. And as you know, interceptions here in the 7-on-7 all worth 3 points, unless we're talking about doing the additional points attempt. The scores by any chance? Okay. I mean, it looks like Carrick's winning based on what I've seen so far. But, okay. All right. Quarterback sends it deep and almost lost it to Perry there. But that pass is incomplete. If I'm not mistaken, that's Fry, right?
Go for it.
Quarterback.
I do.
Okay. And, of course, as always, we want to thank you all for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports broadcast as we cover the 7-on-7 every Tuesday and Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m., ending at around 8 p.m. At least that's what the schedule says. Realistically, we end around 7:40-ish about, provided nothing else changes in the schedule. But we'll be here every Tuesday and Wednesday from now until July 1st. And special shout out to D. Brown, the founder of the 210 Speed and Agility 7-on-7. We are in year 2. And the last 7-on-7, Woodland Hills came out as champions here at their own high school football field. Of course, that is subject to change. They could get a back-to-back victory here, or somebody else can take the helm. We'll see.
Yeah, the Woodland Hills has that home field advantage when they play here. Didn't have it in the first game, as they did lose to Steel Valley in the first game on a pass that was ripped out of one of the Wolverines players, and there a chance for a big play was ripped out of the hands of Carrick, as they did not get the play off in time.
And again, we do not have rosters matching up with the names. For Woodland Hills, we do. Some schools we do, some we don't. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the quarterback that is here for Carrick is Zion Fry.
And if we are incorrect, we do apologize. And as Max said, you can tell us in the comments that we're terrible. That's totally fine by us. We got thick skin. So we are just doing the best that we can right now as Fry is looking for someone to go to. He does have a couple men open, goes to his check down underneath, and he's stopped at the 25. And that will bring up 4th down for the Raiders.
Indeed. Good positioning there by number 11 from Carrick. He was at the right place at the right time.
Actually, Max, I do want to stop you right there. That was actually 4th down. So I saw one of the gentleman's hands go up to signal 4th down. But apparently he was signaling that it was over.
Well, how about that?
So we are not 100% on the score, but we believe it is 5-3 Perry over Carrick, a very unique football score.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, interceptions are worth 3 points unless you're going for that additional point after a successful touchdown. But 7-7 rules, man. I mean, they're different than the official season, but nonetheless, it's just to get you kind of in gear for the official season. And of course, as you notice, nobody's wearing helmets. We're not trying to rough people up before the official season begins. But every now and then, that one-hand touch does lead to a push. But hey, not too much of that going on here in this game. In fact, none of it really going on. Yesterday, it was a push festival, but not today.
It's a gain of 10 there for the call. Actually, gain of 9. They just reset the ball there. But you mentioned pushing. In the previous game, we did see a safety for Woodland Hills put a nice little hit on as a Ironman crossed the end zone. You know, it wasn't too bad, but still throwing a shoulder into somebody going across the middle is pretty dangerous, especially with no pads on here. And I am a little surprised that some of these teams don't have the shell on, like the padded shell that you see as that pass is dropped. That brings up 3rd down. Just for players' head safety.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, some of these people out here are 14 years old.
Right.
And messing with their brain is not something you want to do.
Right.
But luckily, we don't see too many head-on collisions, and that's why the one-hand tag rule is a good one for...
No, that absolutely makes sense, yeah. Safety comes first, but of course, I'm not exactly sure what the coach is telling them. I'm not exactly sure what's going through the minds of the athletes, but they're playing it safe nonetheless. And, of course, it's all about speed and agility, as in the title of this event. So sometimes that means regulating the speed and knowing your own strength and being able to stop on your 2 feet. So, so far we've been seeing just that with these athletes.
And now we are about to see a 4th down and 9 here for the Commodores. They are up 2 points, 5-3. Now, if Carrick gets a stop here, they will take the lead because you get 3 points for a turnover, or not a turnover. Now my brain's working now, and I'm trying to remember the rules off the top of my head. It's either 3 points or 2 points. Actually, I have to take that back. It's 2 points.
Mike would just blame it on the smoke coming from Canada. And for those of you on the East Coast, mask up. That stuff ain't no joke. Right now, Perry's on the offense at the 30-yard line. Quarterback, and it's running low on time. He sends it off to the wide receiver at the past the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Perry definitely using words of encouragement there, such as never give up or you're a big-time jabroni. They could have easily given up on that 4th down play, but the receiver came back to the ball. Ball gets placed at the... Looking like the ball is placed at the 17-yard line, so 1st and goal for the Commodores. He does have man open, and he overthrows him.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity there. His eyes were locked on the ball. The ball was going faster than his feet were. And not all hope is lost, though. Perry still got a shot here.
And Perry does have the luxury of a 3-point lead. It's actually, while my brain was running there, I did remember it's 3 points for a turnover, so it's 6-3 Perry over Carrick. A little bit more of a traditional football score.
And we're roughly 8 minutes to go on the clock. Coming up after this for a 6 o'clock game will be Johnstown versus South Allegheny. So if you're here a little bit too early, first of all, hello. Stay tuned with us. Right now, Perry and Carrick. I mean, we knew this was going to be a good game. These are two very powerful schools going up against each other. The quarterbacks are phenomenal, as we see right here. Although he's running low on the time. What do we got? Nothing.
Another overthrow. They brought a man into motion to break up or to change the formation of the receivers. They had everyone bunched in between the hash marks, and they actually had the running back on a wheel route. If the quarterback was able to see him, would have had to make a arching throw. Would have been tough, but that option was there. But that's what another reason this 7-on-7 league is for. Yes, the point is you want to win because it's a competition and these records do count, but you want to work on, hey, can I thread that needle when it's 3rd and goal from the 10?
Right.
Because even in the previous game, Cam Walter had a couple guys open on the far side, but threw into triple coverage to see if he could, make that pass in the regular season and go, hey, I know just what we mentioned.
Well, how about that?
That's what I said. Maybe in the regular season you don't make that pass.
Right.
But now, in a situation like this, you do, and this will bring up 4th and goal.
Right. Yeah, we don't have any human tanks on the back. The linebackers, that is, here in this. So that does add a extra dynamic that's quite unusual. But nonetheless,
But Max,
the athletes are adapting fine.
Before you go on, I just want to give our viewers a heads up with this. Perry was signaling touchdown. It definitely looked like he was stopped short. So it is 4th down. In our books, it's 4th down. Now, Perry might think it's a touchdown here, so they might think this is an extra point. But it doesn't look like they are lined up on the extra point spot, so this is 4th down, because it looked like there was a little bit of confusion on the field down there.
That makes sense. And what do we got? Oh, a blocked pass. Well done there by Carrick. So we would put away the danger, and it looks like we do have that.
So our interns were correct. Perry was trying to steal 6 points there. Curse you, Perry, the Commodores.
Yikes. And now we got Carrick here at the 40-yard line. Not much to go here on the clock. We got roughly 5 minutes.
And the score is tied 6-6. And in the previous game that was played on this field, it kind of, again, not confirmed, but they were kind of going to a shootout, essentially, where both teams were going for 2 over and over again until somebody didn't score. And that's how they ended the game, and that is how Steel Valley won the first game of the day.
Right. All right, so let's see what Carrick has cooking up here. Quarterback in action. He sends it deep, and what do we got? Oh, so much potential just out of the man's hands. Unbelievable.
That's not the first time today that we've seen these receivers drop the ball for touchdowns. Handful of times we've seen players open and just not pulling the ball in. And you can see the teammates on the sideline very upset.
Right. Well, tends to happen. But a good arm on that quarterback from the 40-yard line. Actually, a little bit past the 40-yard line, but nonetheless, good arm. I mean, finishing out a tied game, it's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing that could have happen. Of course, we don't think we're going to be going into overtime. We usually don't for the 7-on-7. Occasionally we do, but not that often.
One of the receivers got a little bit of a late start, and it worked. I was going to say almost worked out to perfection, because that was the gentleman that started about a second late. Ended up getting a little bit of pocket of space between the hashes, just could not pull the ball in. So that's 2 plays in a row thwarted by not the strongest hands.
All right, so Carrick will be covering another game for you guys. at 6:30, so be sure to tune in with us at 6:30. Yes, it's going to be Carrick versus Amani. That is provided the schedule doesn't change. So far, we've been true to the schedule here today, but occasionally something happens, and some things change. But nonetheless, it looks like we are on track here today, so if the schedule holds true, your school will be playing against Amani at 6:30 p.m., and I believe that is it for Perry here today on our broadcast.
That pass is fired in there. Not enough for the first, but a much more manageable fourth down as that ball looks like it will be placed at the 24-yard line. That will bring up 4th and 4. And, Max, another thing about the schedule, already on the field to our left, their game's over. So there may be some overlap coming.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it tends to happen when you have multiple schools in one field, but if nobody canceled today, it generally stays true to the schedule. And if you do have a few cancellations, occasionally I've been here with D. Brown. He had to go down on the field. Occasionally he commentates with us, but sometimes he had to go down on the field and kind of organize the game on the spot. And again, special shout out to D. Brown as he organized the 7-on-7 speed and agility 210s. Fabulous guy, amazing work what he does here for these athletes. He's also worked with some professionals as well.
I was just gonna say, you must be pretty good if Aaron Donald's one of your clients.
Absolutely, yes. And of course, another special shout out to, I believe it's Pittsburgh Today, correct, Mike? The gentleman that goes down on the field and interviews the students. PA Today, that's what it is. PA Today.
And this game today has ended in a tie.
Hey, I mean, not too shabby a tie. It's not ideal for, either school, but nonetheless, it's not the worst thing that can happen. So it's expected when you got two powerful schools going against each other. But nonetheless, we got more action coming up here. Carrick, as mentioned, you guys have another game coming up at 6:30, so be sure to tune in with us here for that on the Roxamore Sports Network. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, our Facebook beta page, Twitter, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and I feel like I'm missing one, but hey, be sure to tune in at least on one of those platforms. We got our next game coming up. That is going to be Johnstown playing against, let's see what we got. Johnstown playing against South Allegheny here at 6 p.m. for a 6 p.m. game. I'm Maximilian Keeper alongside with everybody's favorite guy, Mike Costa, here on the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll be right back after these messages.